How these people built wealth from nothing. Imagine waking up one day with just $100 to your name and wondering how you'll ever make it. Now imagine turning that $100 into a multi-million dollar empire. Sounds impossible, right? But it's not. The truth is, building wealth from nothing is a lot more attainable than you think. Stick with me, because in the next 10 minutes, I'm going to take you through real-life success stories of people who've done it. And spoiler alert, you can do it too. The power of belief and grit. The first story, from rags to riches. Our first success story begins with someone who had to hustle harder than most. This person started with nothing, literally zero, living paycheck to paycheck. No silver spoon, no trust fund, just raw determination. Let's talk about how they shifted their mindset and turned adversity into opportunity. They made one critical decision. They decided not to let their circumstances define them. They didn't let their low-paying job or lack of connections stop them. Instead, they worked extra hours, studied how to invest, and learned from others who had been where they were. Every sacrifice, every sleepless night was an investment in their future. Now let's take a pause, because here's a question. How many of you are sitting there wondering if it's too late to start, too old, too broke? The truth is, you're never too late, and you're never too broke. The first step is believing that you can turn your life around, just like they did. The real cost of persistence, the struggles they faced. But let's be honest, success doesn't come easy. It never does. The next part of this journey is filled with rejection, failure, and setbacks. And this person, they faced their fair share. From the business idea that failed miserably to the job they almost lost. There were moments when it seemed like it was all slipping through their fingers. But here's the secret. They didn't quit. And that's where most people fail. They give up when things get tough. Think about this. Have you ever quit just when success was around the corner? It happens all the time. People get discouraged after their first failed attempt, but true wealth comes to those who persist. The greatest victories are often hidden behind the toughest battles. And what did they do when things got rough? They doubled down. They kept pushing forward. They worked on becoming better, even when the world seemed to be pushing them back. The power of persistence and adaptability. So what's the takeaway here? Success isn't just about talent or luck. It's about the relentless pursuit of growth, the ability to adapt, and learning from every setback. The person we're talking about kept learning, kept tweaking their strategy, and most importantly, kept showing up. Now let's shift gears for a second. Remember the time you almost gave up on that dream? Maybe it was starting a business or getting that job? Well, here's the truth. You're not alone. If this person can turn their life around, so can you. But there's something else. They didn't just keep pushing, they started making smart financial decisions that set them up for long-term success. How wealth is built and sustained. Making the smart financial moves. It was at this point, after all the hustle, all the grit, that they started making the most important financial decisions of their life. They discovered the power of investing. Whether it was stocks, real estate, or starting their own business, they understood that building wealth was about making their money work for them, not just working for money. Now I know what you're thinking. I'm not an expert, I don't know where to start. But listen, every successful investor had to start somewhere. Whether it's learning about index funds, dividend stocks, or real estate, the knowledge you need is out there. And it doesn't stop at knowledge. The action part? That's where many people falter. This person didn't wait for the perfect time to start. They jumped in with what they knew and learned as they went along. They didn't have a perfect plan. They just had persistence and a willingness to adapt. The biggest financial mistakes to avoid. Let's talk about a mistake that could have derailed everything for them. And trust me, you'll want to hear this. Many of us make this mistake, and it's one of the biggest reasons people fail to build wealth. What do you think it is? It's living paycheck to paycheck, ignoring the long-term impact of small financial decisions, and not setting aside money for emergency savings or investments. The most successful people don't just save, they invest. They make money work for them, not the other way around. So here's your challenge. Start investing even if it's just a little. Small actions, when compounded over time, create massive wealth. Achieving true wealth. After years of grinding and making smart decisions, that person eventually reached the level of success that most people only dream of. They became financially independent, and their wealth grew exponentially. They didn't stop there. They focused on giving back, creating opportunities for others to achieve what they had. And now they're living a life many would call dreamlike. But here's the kicker. What you might not know is that their wealth wasn't built from a single big win. It was built from countless small, smart decisions that added up over time. The key to success in any wealth building strategy? It's the small daily habits that move the needle in the right direction. Why you need to start today. And now the question you've all been waiting for. How do you start? How do you go from zero to financial freedom, just like the people we've talked about? Well, in the next video, I'll be sharing the step-by-step process that you can use today to build your own wealth from the ground up. You don't want to miss it. Your future